Good morning once again, and thank you for watching Sunrise at Sea. If you just joined us, you are right in time for Twitter Jobs too. And the topic of discussion this morning is KCCA's eviction of street vendors and hawkers from the Kampala streets. Now in studio with me, I have a very special gentleman, Mr. Issa Sechito, and he's the spokesperson of Kampala City Traders Association. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you,
Yes,
sir. Thank you for coming through this morning. We
Yes.
really need some insight into what is happening with the vendors,
Yes.
yeah, being evicted.
Yes.
And let's dive right into it. Who gazettes areas for these hawkers? And
Dear viewers, my name is Issa Sechito, like
Yes.
mentioned. I'm the Director for Trade and Commerce at the PSFU, Private Sector Foundation Uganda. I'm the Speaker for Kasita Uganda, and I am also the Director for COMESA
okay,
for this region of East Africa. It is a big question who allocates places where to work from.
yes,
If you talk about Kampala, it's Kampala Capital City Authority that is in charge of seeing that people work from a good place, people work from gazetted areas, but it is a choice of each particular individual to decide
pick
where
to
work,
where they fit in.
Where they fit in.
okay,
It is very complicated to think that KCCA, central government, or any authority will go house to house looking for people and giving them where to work from.
yeah,
What is done is to locate gazetted places like market structures, kiosks which are allowed, shops, moving markets, and the primary principle is that whoever works from anywhere should be having a legal status from where they're working. No matter you are a vendor, no matter you are a hawker,
Yeah.
it should be a gazetted and licensed place, whichever nature of license it is. Yes.
So first, maybe we should tell the viewers what Kasita's objective is.
Kasita was formed in 2002. We celebrated 20 years recently. And the core objective for the formulation of Kasita, which was then Kampala City Traders Association, in 2012, when we started going to other districts like Mitiana, Mbare, Iganga, Luweru, Masaka, Mbarara recently joined us. Then we decided that Kasita becomes a Kasita Uganda, not a Kampala State Traders Association's affair.
Yes.
The core objective of formulation of Kasita before the mandate widened was to remove illegal street vending. Kampala had become a nuisance. Bypassers who do not have where to step. You move and accidentally step on somebody's stock on the road.
Yes.
And the kind of language that would be applied on you, whether you are with your mother, with your father, with your parents, was so obscene.
Yes.
The taxis would not have where to turn
pass,
from.
yeah.
The borders would ride on top of the streets, the only spaces
pavement.
remaining there, and then the pavements. It was disorganized. So a peaceful demonstration was held and Kasita was born. The other objectives for which Kasita is standing now became additional, but the core objective was to maintain proper order in the city, as in terms of cleanliness, in terms of people working from where they are gazetted to be. If you're a shopkeeper, a shop owner, please, do you have a license?
Yeah.
If you're a hawker, because it is not illegal to be a hawker, for as long as the authority where you are has gazetted and licensed you. So it is upon KCCA to find an arrangement that can be done so that the hawkers are gazetted. We have 5 divisions of Kawempe, Rubaga,
Yes, yeah.
and Kampala Central, and the others. If they can locate different colors for hawkers, license them, and allow them to move.
Yeah.
Because there is a very big difference. People mix the two. between a vendor and a hawker.
And a hawker.
A hawker is a person that carries stuff on the body.
Yes, and
that
walks.
is, he or she can carry around, gazetted, licensed, and moves from one place to the other. To the contrary, a vendor is a stationed person who has a stall or stock that is immovable, but is selling from
a stationed
place.
Yes.
So these people come as hawkers. That's how the story worsened in Kampala. Come as hawkers with a chart.
Yes.
When the chart becomes heavier, then they
become
get two
vendors.
sticks.
Oh, yes.
One rope on the waist,
yes.
Then two sticks. When it becomes heavier still, then they put another two sticks. Then it becomes a stall.
And
that
this
one
is
then qualifies to be in a market.
Yeah.
A gazetted market in Nakasero, in St. Kudembe, in anywhere that there is a market. Then if your stock has grown to that level, you no longer can be a hawker. You are now going to qualify as a vendor, and you should change category and see where to operate from. It is very tricky, my sister. When you look at the costs of a shopkeeper in Kampala,
yes,
rent, whether you have been working or not working, you will pay the rent.
The utilities.
The utility bills, electricity, income tax, because you are stationed, they will locate you. VAT. Talk about imposer for people in the market. Talk about garbage collection. Talk about any other bills. It is very, very unfortunate that one rents a shop, goes to the main dealer, who is the wholesaler,
yes,
buys clothes, buy the shoes, buy the whatever is going to vend from that shop. And then another person goes to the same wholesaler, buys the same stuff in dozens.
Yeah.
One goes to the shop after paying all the costs that move the country, and somebody puts just on the doorway.
And doesn't pay any of that.
The person inside must be undercut. One, there are no additional costs for the vendor on the street, and therefore a cloth that would buy, for example, 20,000 in the shop, somebody can vend it at 15 or 12,000.
Yes.
What does that imply for the economy? It implies that nobody will pay the taxes, because the person who will pay the taxes inside the shop is not selling. All right?
Yes.
So leave alone the income for that individual that has been blocked from selling any merchandise. Then talk about the tax element.
Yeah.
Where is government going to get the revenue?
Yeah.
It is a circle, a vicious circle of poverty that is now becoming unmanageable, and Kasita cannot keep quiet when this is happening.
But sir, actually the traders have been complaining ever since this happened that they do not have people to buy these products of theirs, the commodities, because the hawkers have been told to leave the streets.
It is true, but temporary. You know, when there is an operation, the modus operandi changes. People who want to buy shirts, if your shirt is torn and you want one, automatically you will get one, no matter where you will get it. The disorganization that has happened temporarily is because the operation is still ongoing. But as time goes on and everybody has now gone back to their stalls, kiosks, market structures, shops, the customers will come and buy. That is one. Two, these traders that are being chased off the streets are not being committed to prison. They are just opening their minds. Do you know that in Kampala you can work for the whole 6 or 7 days when you go get a bicycle and move within the moving markets? Every day there is a market in Kampala metropolitan area.
Yeah, a moving market. I know there is one in Kitintale on Wednesday.
So you just need to know the schedule of this moving market.
And just move
if you are still youthful and you have some energy, you can get a bicycle, you can get any means of how you can reach these markets. There are even lorries that take the luggages there for the stock for people to go into these markets. So we are not committing anybody to prison. We are not committing anybody back to the village.
So when they are arrested, where are they taken? Because we watched.
When they are arrested, that becomes a different case. Because if you are resisting, they have been advertising. I remember the RCC for Kampala, Mr. Hudu saying, started the adverts in the papers on air around October, warning people that come January 10th, no street vending.
Yes,
they even KCC vehicles were running, making adverts on the on Kampala streets. That the date is coming, the date is coming. So these people are not supposed to resist the removal. You remember the scuffle that happened between some forces. People were beaten, people, blood was flowing out. So
and we don't want a repeat of that.
No government would entertain this. So when you are arrested, maybe you are resisting arrest. Then you are taken to police. You are taken, especially this goes back to KCCA. They take you, the court reads for your case, and you are taken to Ruzira. This is unfortunate. And what do you expect security to do if you are resisting arrest or eviction? This is something that has been scheduled, and you only need to be peaceful so that even if there is an arrangement for any surviving businesses, those that will be put in order, you first remove, then you bargain for your share. I have seen stalls that have been broken down.
So they lose their, they lose their merchandise and everything.
Be part of the game. But like I told you, I'm not the KCCA authority. Me, I'm the spokesperson for the traders. All I'm advocating for is people should be allowed to operate from where they decided to work legally. If I said I have a kiosk, I should do all the steps for qualifying to be legally existing in that kiosk. If it is a market, I should know where my store is and what are the costs and the implications. If it is a shop in the arcade, I should know the implications, and I only call upon the authorities to allow me operate from there without much interruption and blockage of the streets.
And this is what the RCC, Mr. Hudu Sein, was saying, that people, when they went onto the streets last week, saying that people are actually, they actually have these licenses. But if you have a license of a vendor, you should not be a hawker. And some were actually, and he said, I quote, this is not my boss's signature. Some were actually forged.
Whichever it is, that's a subject of police investigation. All I know is, nobody works from the city of Kampala without permission. And the permission must be gazetted by the authority, Kampala City Authority. Anything contrary to that would render you illegal. Nobody says it is illegal to be a hawker. But where do you, what is the process? It's upon the authorities. There is this problem of people always thinking that KCCA and government must plan for where we are working from. Ladies and gentlemen, people who are viewing you on CTV, I am imagining who gave me the place where I am working from. My mother works in St. Balikudeme, selling Bogoya.
And that's one of the markets.
Any authority taking her there. What the authority did was to put the market structure. My mother found herself not able to pay the rent in the shop and opted to go to Vendi Bogoya in Nakasero market in St. Balikudeme. So it is upon that background that when KCC makes it a routine, that when their vendors are many on the streets, now let us correct them and organize them where we are working from. This is weakness. Everybody has a head. And it is your head that is supposed to fit you where you are fitting, ladies and gentlemen. You only need to get the bylaws of a place, even if it is a municipality, even if it is a city like Kampala, you find where you are fitting and you go to do that. Or else, I have seen people for over 10 years, the same people are fighting with the authority whenever there is an eviction. And the partners, me, I was part of the system. When I left school in 1995, my first graduation, I started working from where there is the Royal Complex now. It was a gazetted market structure. KCC announced, gave us 1 month to vacate. There was also a market in Nakasero, Kiembe Lane. We were given the same period to vacate. All the people that thought After leaving that place, they are going to find alternative areas that are illegal operating up to today are suffering. And most of us that took a choice to suffer from gazetted places have got some leeway. So it is not proper even for the vendors themselves. A KCCA person, an individual picks money from you, promising that you'll work from this place.
Yes.
When the boss comes, says you remove all those, when you have paid the money illegally. Now, as if that is not enough, if you resist, they arrest you, band you on the pickup. By the time the stock reaches KCCA, if there were 20 trousers, because of some wicked few members of the authority, they might be 8. By the time we were taken to Ruzira or to police to recover, you are seeing out of the 20 trousers you had, you are having 8. You go to the bank, you get money, because you are so selling, you go back on the same street. So it is a vicious circle of poverty. You go to Ruzira, you pick the money that you have saved for all the time, it bails you out. The moment you are bailed out, you go to shop for another dozen. You do the same thing. For how long? Are you going to be facilitating the prisons? Are you going to be facilitating the few enforcement officers that pick simple money from you? Other than getting the calitre you have, locate a stall and operate from there. We have so many cases of people that have done that and are successful. We have been in Kampala for some time and we have been following this. The person that resists authority is just resisting becoming successful. Because there is no way you can manage. For example, you saw them vowing to fight on. When it was still a simple matter. Go
before it escalated.
Just what is
but sir, I would
now.
like to ask you that going forward, does Kasita have any plans to help the street vendors and hawkers to get off the streets? With your parting shots.
I'm a regular traveler. I always go to Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I go to Beijing. One day, I woke up from the hotel. I was moving the following morning. I bought bed sheets at night, like at 10 p.m.
Yes.
Very, very, very good ones. When I retired back to the room, there was a partner of mine, Mr. Ibrahim Buembo, is still here. He wanted to buy the same from me. Because for him, he knew, when I saw that at night, I thought I would go back in the morning and buy. I was ashamed. When I went back in the morning, it was a very clear street, nothing there. So what was the arrangement? When it is clocking, it's approaching 7 p.m. Right?
Yes.
The lights, the security, and some streets are cut off for other business.
For night markets. For
night markets. The very, very good lights are lit, and the people come for rejects, use the items, all things. When it comes 11 p.m., a ring goes,
and they all disperse.
And they all disperse.
So this is one of the proposals.
The shops are opening. These are some of the options.
Yeah.
Look at Nkuruma or Nasa Road. These are printers and people who deal in scholastic materials.
Yes.
They stop working by 7. Why doesn't KCCA and government
allow them?
Make it habitable, good
safe,
lights,
proper lighting,
security, and people by 7, while we are going home, people are coming to work,
shop,
and customers will get used to that. We had located the Room Street as the Sunday market, although it has now temporarily been abused. But people had gotten used. They'll go on Sunday to Room Street and buy all this kind of stuff. So these arrangements are possible. It's only the authority that is weak in putting this into practice. So these are the options. We can gazette some streets, depending on what kind of stuff is sold there, so that we are not blocking and disorganizing the other structures that are legal operating there. Whether at night or evening, we could do that. We even sometimes had evening markets, starting by 5 to 10 or 5 p.m. to like 9 p.m. And then people would know that if you want matoke, if you want bogoya, if you want moroconi, if you want this, there is a place. They are all there. This is all allowed. But this business of somebody's opening a shop by 7 or 8 and somebody's displaying on the disc. Okay. This is unacceptable. We could also issue hawkers licenses, but with a limitation. You are told on this street you don't vend such and such an item. The uniform for Kampala Central is this color.
This color.
The uniform for Kawempe North is this color. All this is a way of entertaining people who are saying have little capital but are willing to work. If this is adopted, among other options that we shall explore, everybody will enjoy Kampala. I had even people in Hoima complaining. Yeah. There are legal markets, people are running on the streets. So when Kampala coughs, the rest of the people are sneezing. So these bad practices are starting in Kampala and now this just going all over the country. So this is something that we all need to be concertedly fighting. Let people know that as Kasita we are not against anybody working. No. These are our brothers and sisters. What is your parting shot to your brothers and sisters this morning? My message to my brothers and sisters, you know, after I left school, I became a market vendor. I stayed there for less than 6 months, and the first time we were evicted, ladies and gentlemen, I took a resolution not ever to fight with an authority called the KCCA or any authority, whether local, and I should earn little but consistent, other than becoming a bank for people who are only extorting money out of me, and when the law hits, I am the victim. We are encouraging you. Those who need consultation, it's the free consultation at the Kasita office about how we have managed to make it. We are live examples. Majority of us have been people there. And the moment you take a wrong decision to resist on the streets, I am telling you, you are resisting development, you are resisting progress. Well, you heard that from Mr. Issa Sechito, and he's the spokesperson of Kasita. Well, sir, thank you for coming in this morning. Thank you for such clearing up a lot of questions I'm sure people have out there. Well, that was all we had for you on the Twitter Jabs this morning, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. Don't blink.